back again with Real Regular. Love and Hip Hop Hollywood had a reunion that I did not care to see, so there will be no video about that. We're getting into Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta, episode whatever, just back where we left off, because in all honesty, these shows are nothing but live action urban novels. So let's open our book, take out our bookmark, and see where we're at. We start with Ayanna and her fashion show, and naturally everything's a hot mess. Kiyomi's not there yet. There's no power. There's no air conditioner. It's just a bunch of people complaining about sweating and being hot. And I always hate when people complain about being sweaty or whatever, because it's like, bitch, I know we're not in those times, but consider where your grandparents and great-grandparents grew up, be it the shack in Jamaica or the shack in the deep south. They couldn't even imagine an air conditioner. They only had a cool night to look forward to. But whatever. Anyway, everything's a hot mess. Ayanna's like fake stressed about what's going on. The power comes on while people are getting their lives together. But I guess there's no AC because people are still like fanning themselves, and folks are complaining about their makeup slipping off and all that shit. Shania shows up with some tall dude. I'm guessing it's her brother. And Shania, like, in the last 2 or 3 videos I did, I failed to mention her, and I realized it's because she is as dry as wheat toast. So that's what her name's gonna be from now on, Wheat Toast. So Wheat Toast shows up, and she's like, hey girl, what's going on? Is Kiyomi here? Is Bao coming? Just her usual plugs to keep the storyline moving. And then she's like, well, call me if you need me. And I mean, anytime anyone says that to you, they're hoping you won't need them. And she sits in the crowd or whatever, fine. The show gets going. Kiyomi shows up, all that shit. Kiyomi's talking about how she hopes Bow Wow's watching her feed because she's watching his. The show starts, and it's just a bunch of, basic shit. It's not no groundbreaking shit. It's some shit you can buy from a wholesaler, just a lot of stretch fabric, a lot of bodycon dresses, and poorly made jumpsuits. I don't really see, the vision. As stylish as Ayanna is, I don't really see Ayanna in this. I don't see it, girl. I just don't see it. Come harder. Like, the way you dress, the way you carry yourself, that's what I want to see reflected in your work. This, I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't nothing. Kiyomi's going down the runway, and she sees Lil Mama. Lil Mama's sitting there minding her business, and she's like, oh, I know Lil Mama's gonna be all on Bow. No, she's not. Moving on. Deb is in her room, throwing things over a suitcase, just shuffling things around. She's about to go to Jamaica. She FaceTimes Masika saying she doesn't know how to dress for a hot climate. I mean, I think it's obvious, even if you haven't been to Jamaica. If you've been to Florida, it's kind of similar. You want to pack at least 2 or 3 of everything and then some, because you're going to be changing a few times a day. Whatever, but Masika, being Masika, talks about Bao and how she finally ran into Bao and how, she's happy that Deb has a man out there in Jamaica, so when Johnny fucks up, blah, 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 just keeping the same shit going about how much she doesn't like Johnny. Masika's just gonna stay true to her villain role, and that's cool, whatever. Then we flip back to Ayanna and Bow Wow and Kiyomi, and Bow Wow showed up for a split second to give Ayanna some flowers and some champagne, and then he left, and I think that was the right thing to do. Like, why make it a thing? And then Kiyomi walks home after the fashion show. Then we flip to Bow Wow in some studio with Pimp. Pimp is really weird to me. He's really weird to me. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But he's with him, and they're like Bow Wow's sitting down recording some verse on a song that he did with Kiyomi, and it's really, 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 really fucking like raunchy. Literally every other word is a bleep or a, you know, like a censor. It's just like Kiyomi's voice did sound nice compared to what I've heard. Like, if you go on her Instagram, there's a music video of her, and she's supposed to be singing, if that's what you can call it. And it's literally just auto-tuned, slurring. It's not really anything special. But, yeah, Bao says he misses her, and this, that, and the other. Him and Kiyomi are essentially saying the same thing. They miss each other, they're creeping on each other, but neither of them has the balls to just be like, yo, I miss you. Like, I don't understand this generation of keep it 100, but don't say anything. Makes no sense, but whatever. I guess just to keep the show going, just to keep the episode going, just to make it hit that 40-minute mark, we're gonna keep the cat and mouse games going fine. Lil Mama meets with Kelly Price, and every time Lil Mama is on the screen, I feel like the show takes a turn for the better, and I feel like Lil Mama needs her own show, because of course we want like ratchet reality TV, and I think she can bring the ratchetness if need be, but I also feel as though she's just more interesting, and she's bringing a lot more like reality to reality TV. She's talking about what artists go through when they're in these phases of their life. She's trying to explore singing. Her mother was a singer, and she expresses to Kelly that she wants to harness that gift and just overcome her fear of being in the booth and singing. Totally get that 100%, you know, like when you're someone that can carry a tune, or you have an actual voice, but for whatever reason, you know, the confidence has been snuffed out, or at some point in your life, somewhere in time, you've just become really shy, and then it's like, you know, you don't have the balls to, like, you know, showcase your talent. It sucks. It sucks because you're basically just preventing yourself from going to where you really need to be. So that was really interesting. Needless to say, it just further made me like interested in Lil Mama. Then we go to this tired ass boutique where Kiyomi and her friend, who strangely enough looks like an older sister, pops up. She whines about their breakup. Moving on. Wheat Toast meets with Bow Wow at some restaurant, and Bow Wow's talking about how he's sad about Kiyomi and how he's been turning up. Honestly, I don't think Bow Wow gives a fuck one way or another about Kiyomi. I think that he has a drinking problem, and I think that he's probably struggling with never being able to like make that transition from a child star to an adult star. Like, I feel like he's having trouble digesting the fact that he doesn't really fit into today's rap game, and that's a lot of pressure. I think that's what's really going on with him. But anyway, he's whining to Wheat Toast, and Wheat Toast is like, oh yeah, I can see it in your eyes that you miss her, blah blah blah. I don't think so. I don't think that's accurate. I think that Bow Wow is dealing with something a lot deeper than Kiyomi, and Kiyomi's just a plot line. Then we flip back to Mama Deb and her backpack. Mama Deb. Keyword mama. You and these little tween knapsacks, I can't do it. I cannot fucking do it. You're a grown-ass woman, and your arm is 3 times the size of that bag. Stop carrying it. Get you a real pocketbook. get you a purse, get you a handbag, get you a tote. You're a lady. You're a woman. You're not a little girl. But she shows up with that shit again in Jamaica. And she gets a call that everything's going left. Okay, whatever. Lil Mama and Kelly Price are having their little studio session with some guy, and Kelly was really awesome in this scene. We've seen her on R&B Divas, and she's shown to be very, challenging to deal with and kind of crazy, but she was very supportive of Lil Mama, and she wasted no time. She was really serious, and I think with her help, we got to see Lil Mama's potential, if not capability. Lil Mama really has a voice. She can sing, as she said. And it's just a matter of, getting past those mental blocks that she has. So that was a really cool scene. I liked the ABCs with flavor. It was cute. Then we flip to Wheat Toast and her mom. And she's, whining to her mom about how, she feels like Jermaine isn't taking her seriously. And, each time Wheat Toast talks about her dad not supporting her, it's I see why she's typically so calm all the time, because in actuality she's a nasty little bitch. There's this psychotic fire in her eyes every time she talks about, what her dad isn't doing for her. And it's beyond me, because as far as I can see, she's just a spoiled little brat. She gets around to talking to him about it, and he's just pretty straightforward. You don't know what you're doing. You need to come at me with, some real shit. I get the sense that she probably just wanted him to throw a bunch of money at her and put her in the right places with the right people, and she could just crank some shit out. She thought it would be fun, but Jermaine wants her to do the groundwork. He wants her to, like most parents, they want, it's not enough to just say you're interested in something. They want to see that you're somewhat committed to it and that you've spent some time learning the fundamentals that go into what it is you want to do. So if you want to start a fashion line, you need to pull up to your father with some sketches, Wheat Toast. You need to show him some sketches. You need to study colors, study your color wheel, maybe take some sewing lessons, learn some shit before you come and say that you want to, just do shit, because, frankly, your father, even though, he's at the end of his road, he's worked very hard, and he's had a point of success that, it wasn't given to him the way you're asking him to give shit to you. She's just weird, and she really showed her ass, and she's I don't want to talk about this. I'm getting teary-eyed. You're just really upsetting me right now. It just sounds like you're Veruca Salt and you want a pony and you don't want to hear shit else. But if you're trying to do something that's going to cost money and is supposed to make money, you have to take it seriously. And moreover, the fact that you said that you're taking a break from the line because he wasn't taking you seriously shows just how dedicated you are. Because if you were really dedicated and if it was something you really wanted to do, you wouldn't have given a fuck how your father felt about it, and you would have kept it pushing, and you would have went out there and got it some other way. And I think that's what he was trying to tell you. Being jealous of Ayanna and all of that, you fucking crazy, Wheat Toast. You're fucking crazy, and I see it now. We go to this next scene, and it's Bow Wow having this drunk pool party with 16 Fashion Nova models. They're twerking in the pool, and there's bottles of liquor floating around in the pool, and Bow Wow's sampling from I think I saw him drink vodka. He drank some Ciroc, he drank some kind of tequila. He was just pouring it up, and then he's lurking on Kiyomi's timeline, yada 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 yada, whatever. Masika's still being thirsty, hitting him up. Just, I don't know, y'all. Anyway, we flip back to Jamaica. Johnny's there saying that Elephant Man doesn't give a shizzle and he didn't show up. And Deb's well, alright, why did this happen? And she's talking to Johnny the way a manager speaks to They're artists, and Johnny doesn't know how to deal with it because, as far as Johnny's concerned, she's off the stroll. She's been off the stroll, and she don't got time for it. What I don't like, though, is that she got up and went into another room, and she's, like, going off at someone else about Deb. Go off about Deb to Deb. Why are you going into another room and then you're talking about who's paying her? Not you. I don't think you can afford to pay Deb Atney. I don't think you can. I don't think you can. I like you, Johnny, but I don't think you can pay Deb Atney. I think this is, if anything, pro bono work. I think Deb is still waiting to get her cut. But it's like, you're too busy turning up and fucking arguing to even make anything for her to profit off of. And from the sound of it, she's like, you know, like, you're trying to stay in Jamaica until Tuesday. She's like, no, I'm not changing my flight for this. So you didn't even pay for her flight. So what do you mean pay? Who pays you? And then your eyebrows weren't even fucking symmetrical. Like, they were just all the way fucking off. So I don't think you're paying anybody to do anything. Your wigs have all these, like, finger spacings in between the wig cap and your actual head. It's like, you're not paying anybody anything. Everything I've seen you wear has looked cheap. You know, those little booty shorts and that washed up house clothes you were wearing. Like, Johnny, you just, I don't know, man. Like, turn up when you're supposed to turn up. I'll never knock you for that, but you need to know who and when to do it with. Like, that lack of judgment that you have and that pointless flipping you did just because she told you, like, get your shit together. She's like, oh, every time I offer something, Deb always has something negative to say. Deb is your manager, and managers are going to manage you, and they're going to steer you where you need to be steered. If you could do better on your own, we would have heard something on the radio by now. But that's basically it. You know, they stole 40 minutes from me. Meanwhile, I was able to talk about this shit in under 20 minutes. We'll be back next time for whatever else happens. I hear Love and Hip Hop New York is supposed to be coming back. Joe Buttons and Slut Santana are supposed to be back, so I guess we'll see what's up with that. Have a happy Family's Day. Stay out of this fuck-ass weather if you can. It snowed over here. I hated it.